There comes a time in life when you begin to sense that you are not like everyone else. The noise of the world may try to drown it out, but deep within your soul, there is a whisper that says you were created for something greater. This is not pride or arrogance. It is the stirring of a divine calling. At first, you may question it. You may wonder why your journey feels so difficult, why others seem to glide through life while you face obstacle after obstacle. But it is in those very struggles that your true identity begins to emerge. Just as a diamond is formed under intense pressure, your purpose is revealed through adversity. The world rarely recognizes a chosen one at the beginning. Often you are overlooked, underestimated, and even ridiculed. Those around you may not see the potential that burns within you, and sometimes you may not see it yourself. But destiny has a way of pulling you toward it, no matter how far you try to run or how deeply you try to hide. Every challenge you face, every loss you endure, is shaping you into someone who can carry the weight of the purpose you were designed for. It is tempting to compare your path to others, to feel bitterness when you see those who seem to prosper without struggle. But their journey is not yours, and your destiny cannot be measured by anyone else's timeline. A chosen one walks a road that few can understand. It is a road of sacrifice, of tests, of refining fires. There will be moments when you question everything. You will feel the loneliness of walking a path that few dare to travel. But remember, the darkness that surrounds you is often the very sign that something powerful is being birthed within you. Seeds are planted in the dark before they rise to the light, and so it is with you. While others see failure, you must see foundation. While others see rejection, you must see redirection. Every setback is preparing you for a comeback so astounding that even your enemies will be forced to watch in silence. There is a spiritual law that those who plot against the chosen one only end up fueling their rise. The very weapons formed to destroy you will become the tools that sharpen you. As you embrace who you truly are, you begin to understand that your worth does not come from the approval of others. It comes from the one who called you. You are not defined by your past mistakes or by the voices of those who doubted you. You are defined by the purpose placed within you before you ever took your first breath. When you finally grasp this truth, fear loses its grip and hesitation melts away. You no longer seek to blend in because you were never meant to. You were designed to stand out, to bring light into places others have abandoned, to fight battles that others run from. This awakening may not come with applause. In fact, it often comes with resistance. The world does not easily accept those who disrupt its patterns, but the chosen one does not need the world's validation. You move forward not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. And with each step, you grow stronger, more resilient, and more certain of who you are becoming. One day, those who ignored you, mocked you, or underestimated you will have no choice but to acknowledge the truth. They were wrong about you all along. Discovering your true identity and divine purpose in the midst of opposition. There is a moment in every person's life when the weight of existence presses so heavily that you are forced to question who you truly are. In those quiet, hidden moments, away from the expectations and judgments of the world, a faint voice begins to whisper within your soul. It tells you that you are different, that you were not placed here by accident, that your very being holds a purpose so profound that it could change the course of lives, perhaps even history itself. At first, you doubt it. You think perhaps it is only your imagination or a fleeting dream, but as time passes, the whisper grows louder, even amidst the chaos of daily struggles and the noise of a world that tries to mold you into its image. You begin to see glimpses of your potential in the moments when you act out of courage rather than fear, when you stand for truth even though your voice shakes, when you love even when it costs you everything. The journey to discovering your true identity is never easy because it demands that you face everything you have tried to hide from, including the lies you have been told about yourself. From childhood, the world has been shaping you through labels, opinions, and expectations. Perhaps you were told you were not enough, that your dreams were foolish, that you should play small so others could feel comfortable. These words take root like weeds, choking out the truth of who you really are. Yet deep within, a seed remains, waiting for the right season to burst forth. That seed is your divine calling, the reason you were created, the answer to why your path has been so difficult, and why you often feel out of place among those who seem content to settle for less. As you awaken to this reality, you begin to understand that the challenges you face are not random acts of cruelty. They are carefully placed tests, refining fires meant to strip away everything false, so only the purest version of you remains. A chosen one cannot carry the weight of destiny without first being strengthened through adversity. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every season of isolation is part of this process. These experiences break you open, but they also allow light to flood in, illuminating the parts of yourself you never knew existed. They teach you resilience, humility, and unwavering faith in the unseen. Along this path, there will be people who fail to recognize your worth. Some will dismiss you, others will actively oppose you. They may laugh at your dreams or even try to sabotage your progress. Do not mistake their rejection as a sign that you are unworthy. Often, it is proof that you are walking a path they cannot comprehend. When light enters a dark room, it disturbs what hides in the shadows. Likewise, when you begin to live out your true identity, you will naturally provoke resistance from those who cling to comfort and conformity. The key to moving forward is to anchor yourself not in the shifting opinions of others, but in the unchanging truth of who you were made to be. Your identity is not based on achievements, titles, or possessions. It is not defined by your past mistakes or the wounds others have inflicted upon you. It is rooted in something far greater, a divine design woven into your very being. As you lean into this truth, you will find the courage to shed the masks you have worn to survive and step boldly into the fullness of who you are. When you finally see yourself clearly, you stop seeking validation from the world because you realize you were never meant to fit into it. You were meant to transform it, and though the path may remain difficult, every step you take in alignment with your purpose brings you closer to the moment when the world will finally see what you have known all along, that you were chosen for something extraordinary, transforming pain, rejection, and betrayal into unstoppable strength. Pain has a way of breaking you open, exposing the deepest parts of who you are, parts you didn't even know existed. When you are betrayed by those you trusted, rejected by the very people you sacrificed for, or abandoned when you needed someone the most, it feels as though the ground beneath you has been ripped away. In those moments, it is easy to believe that you are powerless, that life has dealt you a hand too cruel to overcome. But what you do with that pain determines whether it destroys you or transforms you into someone unstoppable. Pain is not just an experience to endure, it is a forge, and you are the iron being shaped by the fire. It is in the heat of suffering that you discover strength you never imagined you had. Rejection often feels like a wound that will never heal. It whispers lies that you are unworthy, unlovable, and forgotten. It tempts you to give up, to shrink back into the shadows where no one can hurt you again. Yet rejection is also a form of redirection. It closes doors that were never meant for you so that greater ones can open. Every betrayal is a revelation, showing you who truly belongs in your life and who was only there to hold you back. It strips away illusions and forces you to stand on your own, to depend not on the approval of others, but on the unshakable truth that you are destined for something greater. Betrayal cuts the deepest, especially when it comes from those closest to you. It shatters your sense of trust and leaves you questioning everything you thought you knew. But even betrayal carries within it a strange gift. It teaches you discernment, showing you that not everyone who walks with you is walking for you. It strengthens your resolve, for once you have been pierced by the deepest wounds, you become harder to destroy. What was meant to weaken you instead builds within you a quiet, unyielding power. Those who conspired against you may believe they have won, but in reality, they have only fueled your rise. The process of turning pain into strength is not instant. It requires a willingness to face your wounds rather than run from them. It means sitting with the discomfort, allowing yourself to feel every ounce of sorrow, anger, and grief, and then choosing to rise anyway. Each time you pick yourself up after a fall, you become stronger. Each time you refuse to let bitterness consume you, you grow wiser. Pain does not disappear, but it becomes the foundation upon which your future is built. It becomes a well of empathy, allowing you to connect with others who are suffering. It sharpens your vision, helping you see clearly what truly matters. There will come a day when you look back on the very things that once threatened to destroy you and realize they were shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. The hardships you endured will become the reason you can face challenges with courage and grace. The tears you cried will become rivers of resilience flowing through your veins. Where others see defeat, you will see preparation. Where others see tragedy, you will see transformation. When you learn to channel your pain into purpose, no enemy, no setback, no betrayal can hold you down. You become a force that cannot be stopped, because you are no longer fighting only for survival, but for destiny. Those who rejected you will one day stand in awe as they watch the very person they tried to break rise higher than they ever imagined. They will regret underestimating you, because every ounce of suffering they inflicted only became the fuel for your greatness. Rising so high that those who opposed you are left in awe and regret. There comes a moment when the tide turns, when all the years of struggle, hidden battles, and silent tears begin to make sense. At first, the climb feels endless, as though every step forward is met with resistance. The weight of past failures and the voices of those who doubted you echo in your mind, trying to convince you that you will never rise beyond where you are. Yet with each challenge you endure, a strength begins to grow inside you, one that cannot be taken away. This strength is forged in the secret places, in the nights when no one sees the sacrifices you make, in the days when you keep going even when everything within you screams to give up. Rising above every obstacle is not just about perseverance, it is about transformation. You do not come out of the storm the same person who went in. You emerge wiser, more focused, and with a fire in your spirit that cannot be extinguished. As you continue to rise, you begin to notice something extraordinary. The very circumstances that were meant to destroy you have instead become stepping stones to your destiny. The enemies who once laughed at you have no choice but to watch as you climb higher than they ever expected. Those who doubted you will be forced to confront the truth of their own small vision. Their regret is not simply about your success, but about their failure to recognize what was within you all along. They will remember the words they spoke, the actions they took, and how they underestimated someone who was chosen for greatness. There is a quiet power in rising without seeking revenge. True victory does not come from proving others wrong with anger, but by simply becoming who you were always meant to be. When you focus on your growth rather than their downfall, you move into a realm they cannot touch. Your success becomes undeniable, a living testimony to the strength that comes from faith, perseverance, and unshakable purpose. Even those who once tried to block your path will find themselves standing in awe, unable to deny the transformation they are witnessing. The journey upward is never without its moments of doubt. There will still be voices that try to convince you to settle, to go back to the familiar, to play small so others will not feel threatened. But as you rise, you begin to see the world from a different perspective. The higher you go, the clearer the vision becomes. You understand why certain doors were closed, why certain people left, why certain dreams seemed delayed. Every delay was protection, every detour was preparation, every heartbreak was a lesson. When you finally step into the place you were destined for, you will carry with you not only the strength of your own battles, but also the wisdom to guide others. Your story will inspire those who are still in the valley, those who are still questioning whether they have the strength to keep going. You will become a living reminder that it is possible to rise, no matter how deep the pit or how fierce the opposition. Those who once doubted you will witness your ascent and feel the sting of their own disbelief. They will see the fruits of your perseverance and realize that every attempt to hinder you only served to push you closer to your purpose. Their regret will not come from jealousy alone, but from the deep understanding that they played a role in shaping the very person they tried to break. For every sneer, every betrayal, every obstacle placed in your way, you will rise higher, shining brighter, and standing stronger than anyone thought possible.